Hey everyone, Namaste. Welcome on my channel and welcome to this new video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Ramayana, an epic saga. You must have noticed that from last few years, in fact, before that as well, in the history paper of NTA UGC net, the questions related to Ramayana they are frequently coming. So I have decided to bring a video on this very topic. So yeah, here I am. Before starting this whole video, this is a short introduction about me. So my name is Chandrabhal Tiwari Om and I have done my masters in history from University of Delhi, and currently I am pursuing a PhD from Lucknow University. I also have worked as a research associate in an ICSSR project in BHU. Before that I worked as a guest faculty in University of Delhi. I continuously teach on Unacademy for NTA UGC net and set examination students or aspirants, and you can find me there on free platform, on plus platform. If you are new on Unacademy, you might need my code to unlock the even the free courses as well, unlock the free sessions as well. So you can use this code Om Tiwari in order to unlock that. And if you want to join the plus platform, then again you can use this Om Tiwari in order to get certain discount. Now let's start our discussion. So talking about Ramayana, if we see, so Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are like two great Indian epics that we know of, and in fact, ages after ages, particularly if we talk about Ramayana, so many poets after poets, they have written their own version of Ramayana, and some of their own versions they actually got their place in the history of Indian literature. So we will first look into these various versions, mostly the regional versions. I'm not going into the international versions because we have certain versions, they are prevalent in your Thailand, in Cambodia. So we are not going into that. We are looking into the Indian versions only, Indian regional versions and some Buddhist and Jaina versions. Okay. So yeah, talking about the regional versions here, but before even that, the scholars they estimate for the earliest stage of this text, like your Ramayana, this text it ranged from 8th to 4th century BCE, and later stages extending up to the 3rd century CE. तो somewhere around like 8th century BCE से लेके 3rd century CE के बीच में ये text लिखा गया, and it is considered as one of the largest ancient epics in the whole literature and in the world literature, and it consists of nearly 24,000 verses which have been written in Anustup meter. So Ramayana, which I am talking about, it was originally written in Sanskrit, and it was originally written in Sanskrit by sage Valmiki, and the original Ramayana, it is being considered that it was written with 5 kandas, but 2 kands they have been added later on. So if the question is being asked that how many kands there are or how many chapters are there in your Valmiki Ramayana, so you have to answer with 7 parts or 7 chapters or 7 khand or 7 kand. Now the genre this very text belongs to, that is the Itihas genre, or in Sanskrit it was called as Puravritti genre. Pura means Purana, Vrit matlab kahani. So this is basically the story of the past, the Itihas genre or Puravritti genre. It was written in that, and it had some didactic kind of nature as well, where it talks about the goals of human life, and it taught about basically the goal of human life and how one should lead their life. Now these are the 7 kand of this very Valmiki Ramayana. We have Balakand, we have Ayodhya Kand, Aranya Kand, Kishkindha Kand, Sundar Kand, Yuddha Kand or Lanka Kand. Both are same. This Yuddha Kand, it's also known as Lanka Kand. It's in fact this name is more popular. Then Uttar Kand. इसमें आपका this Balakand and Uttar Kand, these are considered as later addition. Okay, these are considered as later additions, and the original additions was like these 5 kandas only. But आपको अगर वाल्मीकि रामायण के बारे में पूछा जाएगा कि कितने कांड हैं, तो आप 7 कांड ही बताएंगे, because all these are the part of Valmiki Kand only. Now talking about some regional variations or regional versions of Ramayana. So अगर हम regional versions में जाते हैं, so the earliest translation to a regional Indo-Aryan language is the early 14th century Saptakanda Ramayana, which was written in Assamese by Madhav Kandali. Then Valmiki's Ramayana, it also inspired another Ramayana which was written in Awadhi, a dialect of Hindi, That was Sri Ramcharitmanas. It was written by Tulsidas in 1576. Tulsidas was contemporary of Akbar. This work of Tulsidas, it is also known as Tulsi Krit Ramayana. So yeah, it's a very popular text. Then Gujarati poet Premanand, he also wrote a version of Ramayana in 17th century. Then we have other versions include your Kritivasi Ramayana, which was written by Kritibas Ojha in 15th century. Then we have Vilank Ramayana by 15th century poet Saral Das and Jagmohan Ramayana. This is also known as Dandi Ramayana. It was written in 16th century by Balaram Das. Both these Ramayans, they were in Odia language. Then we have Toravi Ramayana. It's written in Kannada by 16th century poet Narahari. Then we have Adhyatma Ramayanam. And so this Adhyatma Ramayanam, it's a Malayalam version and it was written by Tunchattu Ramanujan Edutachan. Okay, so it was written in 16th century. In Marathi, Sridhar, he wrote a Ramayana in 18th century. In Maithili, Chanda Jha, he wrote in 19th century. We'll come back to this very fact and elaborate this very fact further in the next slides. Then in 20th century, Rashtrakavi Kuvempu's Sri Ramayana Darshanam, it was written in Kannada in the 20th century. Srimad Ramayana Kalpa Vrikshamu, it was written in Telugu by Viswanath Satyanarayan, who received Gyanpith Award for this work as well. It's a fairly modern work. Then we have Ramayanam. It was written by Krishnadas Shama in 15th century in Kardalipur, Goa, and this very version, the manuscript, it's in Portugal right now. Then we have the Gondi Ramayana as well, or Gond Ramayani as well, in which like the Gondi people, they have their own version, and this Gond Ramayani, it's basically derived from various oral folk legends, and it consists of 7 stories with Lakshman as the protagonist. And the stories, they actually set after the main events of Ramayana, where he finds a bride. So Bengal की बात करते हैं. Chance discovery of a 6th century manuscript happened quite recently, and it reveals insight into the evolution of the narrative of Ramayana. The discovery was of this Dasagriv or Dasagriv Rakshas Charitram Vadham, or Dasagriv Rakshas Charitram Vadham, that is slaying of 10-headed giant. Dasagriv Rakshas Charitram Vadham, slaying of the 10-headed giant. This manuscript contains only 5 kand, that is important, and it ends with Trio's triumphant return to Ayodhya, like Ram, Lakshman, or Ram, Sita, and Lakshman. So it has only 5 kand, and this is a 6th century manuscript. From this very particular recensions, there are some missing versions, like we do not find the version of Balakand, which deals with the childhood of Lord Ram, and Uttarkand, which narrates basically Rama's divinity as an avatar of Vishnu, the events leading up to the exile of Sita or the death of Ram's devoted brother Lakshman. These things which have been the part of your Uttarkand, it's not found in this very Ramayana. Anyway, this manuscript is pretty recently, it has been discovered in 2015 from an archive which have been compiled by German Indologist Theodor Ofrich. Okay, moving on, we have Tamil Ramayana as well. In Tamil, we have a Ramayana which was Iram Avtaram, it is very famous Ramayana, and it's written by Kamban. But even before this, in ancient Tamil literature, we find the reference of the story of Ramayana. So these references, they have been found in the Sangam texts like Akananuru, which date around 1st century BCE, then Purananuru, then these twin epics, Silapadikaram and Mani Meklai, they also gives us the reference of Ramayana. Alvar literature of your Kulasekhara, Alvar, Tirumangai, Alvar, Andal and Nammalvar, they also talk about or refer to or give reference to the story of Ramayana. Even the songs of Nayanars have references to Ravan and his devotion to Lord Shiva. So these stories, they get reflected, or they have been reflected even before your Iram Avtaram or Rama Avtaram. It has been written by Kamban in 12th century AD. Moving on, in Nepal as well, we have 2 very famous Ramayana which has been written. The first one by Bhanu Bhakt Acharya, and it is considered the first epic of Nepali language, and other one is written by Siddhidas Mahaju. Okay, so Bhanu Bhakt Acharya and Siddhidas Mahaju, they have written their Nepali version of Ramayana. Ramayana written by Bhanu Bhakt Acharya is one of the most popular verses in Nepal right now, and the popularization of Ramayana and its tale, originally written in Sanskrit language, was greatly enhanced by the work of your Bhanu Bhakt, and mainly because of his writing of the Nepali Ramayana. Bhanu Bhakt is also called as Adi Kavi, or the pioneering poet of Nepali language. Further, we have, it is said that around 33 commentaries on Ramayana are also available to us. Some of these commentaries on Ramayana, they also include, like we have Maheshwar Tirth Tattvadeep. Maheshwar Tirth, he has written Tattvadeep. आपको इन सारी चीजों को लिखना है. Then we have Govind Raj, he wrote Bhushan. It is also called as Govind Rajyam. Then we have Shiv Sahaya's Shiroman. We have Mahadev Yogi's Amrit Katak. We have Ramanuja's Ramanujiyam. We have Ahobala's Tanich Loki. We have Tilak by Nagoji Bhatt or Ramavarma. Okay, so these are some of the commentaries, some of the famous commentaries. इसमें आपका the commentary is that Tilak, which was written by Nagoji Bhatt or Ramavarma, the work Bhushan, which was written by Govind Raj, and we have Siroman, which was written by Shiva Sahaya. These three commentaries, they are very popular, and they are popularly known as Tika Traya. Okay, Tika Traya, or the three commentaries, Tilak, Bhushan and Siroman. Okay, keep this thing in your mind. Next, we have a Kannada version of Ramayana as well, like Kumudendu. He wrote this Ramayana. It's a Jaina version. Kumudendu, he was a Jaina monk, so he wrote a version of Ramayana as well in 13th century. उसके अलावा we have Kumar Valmiki Toravi Ramayana, which was written in 16th century. Toravi Ramayana by Kumar Valmiki. Then there is another version titled as Ramchandra Charita Puran, which was written by Nagachand during 13th century, all in Kannada. Two prose works by Nandalik Lakshmi Narayan or Muddan, entitled Adbhut Ramayana and Rameshwamedham. These work written in 19th century. These are the prose written in Kannada, so they also tell us the story of Ramayana. We have Malayalam version of Ramayana as well. Malayalam language, this Adhyatma Ramayanam or Kilipattu, it was written by Tunjatu Iduchuchan. हमने इसके बारे में बात किया था अभी थोड़ी देर पहले in 16th century, and I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. Among the Malabar Muslims of your Kerala, this Mappila Ramayanam is also very famous, which is based on your folk traditions. Then Gujarati Ramayana, we have Tulsikrita Ramayana. It was written by poet Premanand Swami. I have mentioned about this as well. A Telugu version, Ranganath Ramayana, it was written by Gona Buddha Reddy in 13th century. Urdu Ramayana, which is called as Pothi Ramayana, it was written in 17th century by Chuck Bust. This is a bit problematic one, not very reliable sources they have mentioned about the author as Chuck Bust, but I did not find any reliable source where it has been mentioned that Urdu Ramayana, which was written in 17th century, or Pothi Ramayana, it was written by whom. So for now, you should keep this Chuck Bust in your mind. If we talk about some regional Ramayana, like I was talking about Bihar. So in Bihar, in Maithili language, your Chanda Jha, he has written this Mithila Bhasha Ramayana. Apart from that, we have Lal Das. He also wrote this Mithila Bhasha Ramayana called as Rameshwar Charit Mithila Ramayana. And then we have Ram Lochan Sharan. He also wrote a Ramayana. So Ram Lochan Sharan, we have Lal Das, and we have Chanda Jha. These were the writers in Maithili language or Maithil Ramayans. Then we have a Ramayana which was written in Konkani language. Goa की हम बात कर रहे हैं. The language is Konkani. So this Konkani language Ramayana, called as Ramayana, written by Krishnadas Shama, which is in Portugal right now. So yeah, it's written in Goa. Coming to Buddhism. Buddhist version जो आपका रामायण का है, it is called as Dasrath Jatak. Okay, this version is called as Dasrath Jatak, and this is important because here Dasrath was mentioned as the king of Banaras. Okay, the king of Banaras, not Ayodhya. This is important. Okay, in Buddhist Dasrath Jatak, Dashrath was considered as the king of Banaras, not Ayodhya, and Ram was called as Rama Pandit. He was the son of Kaushalya, the first wife of Dashrath, and Lakshman was Lakhan, who was a sibling of Ram and son of Sumitra, the second wife of Dashrath, and Sita was the wife of Ram. This is the fairly popular. These are the fairly popular character of Ramayana. In fact, the main characters of Ramayana. So we all know about them. But yeah, this Dashrath Jatak, it is your Buddhist version of Ramayana. एक और इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज इस रामायण के बारे में ये है कि द स्टोरी गोज कि दैट टू प्रोटेक्ट हिज चिल्ड्रन फ्रॉम हिज वाइफ कैकेयी who wished to promote her son Bharat, Dashrath he sent the three your Ram, Sita and Lakshman to a hermitage in the Himalayas for 12-year exile. Okay, after 9 years Dashrath died and Lakhan and Sita they returned. But Rama Pandit, in deference to his father's wishes, he remained in exile for a further 2 years. Okay, for a further 2 years. So in total of 14 years. Okay, then this version also, it does not include the abduction of Sita. There is no Ravan which have been mentioned in Dashrath Jatak. In fact, there is no Ram-Ravan war which has been mentioned in Dashrath Jatak. But Ravan did appear in Buddhist version, and he appeared in another literature, Buddhist literature, that is Lanka Avatar Sutra. Okay, Lanka Avatar Sutra or Lanka Avatar. In this, Ravan, he has been mentioned, and his story has been mentioned. But the original Ramayana version of Buddhist version of Ramayana, that is your Dashrath Jatak, we do not find the mention of Ramayana. In the explanatory commentary of Dashrath Jatak, Rama Pandit is said to have been a previous birth of Buddha, because it's a Jatak story, and Sita as the previous birth of Yasodhara, who was the mother of Rahul, okay, the son of your Gautam Buddha. If we talk about Jaina version, so Jaina version of Ramayana is considered as Paumacharyam, the important one. And this version is written as a polemic against Brahmanical Sanskrit versions, asserting that all the characters in the Ramayana were mere mortals who engaged in conflict over moral issues. In fact, they like this Jaina version, this Paumacharyam, it does not talk about any superhuman activities of these Ramayana characteristics. In fact, the only superhuman feat which was mentioned in Ramayana, this Paumacharyam, it is Ravana's ability to fly through the clouds, or Meghvahan. All characters, they are depicted as Jains here, and Rama, Sita and Lakshman, they visit Jain pilgrimage sites rather than ashrams as in Valmiki Ramayana during their stay in forest. So here, this is your Jain version. Jain version of Ramayana, it can also be found in various Jain agams, like we have this Sangada Sagani Vachak, उन्होंने लिखा ये वासुदेव हिंदी. It was written in 4th century CE, very important. Then we have Ravi Sen, he wrote Padma Puran. इसमें भी इनके रामायण की स्टोरी के बारे में आपको मेंशन मिल जाता है. Here this is the story of Padmaja and Ram, and Padmaja was the name given to Mata Sita. Then Hemchand, he wrote this Trisati Shalaka Purusha Charit. Here as well you find the mention of Ram. And according to Jaina cosmology, every half time cycle has 9 sets of Balaram, Vasudev and Prati Vasudev. Balaram and Vasudev, they are the brothers, they are the friends, and they are the main protagonists. And Prati Vasudev, he is the antithesis of Vasudev, and he is the main villain. So that's how these Ram, Lakshman and Ravan, he has been, or they have been incorporated in this whole theory of Balaram, Vasudev and Prati Vasudev, where your Ram was Balaram. Then if we talk about the Mughal India, so there again we know about Akbar's interest in in this epic, and in order to make his courtiers adapt to the local language and local culture of India, Akbar, in fact, in 1574, Akbar opened a Maktab Khana. Okay, he opened a Maktab Khana. What is this Maktab Khana, guys? This Maktab Khana was a house of translation, and this Maktab Khana, this house of translation, it was established for the purpose of translating so many Sanskrit texts into Persian, so that the court people, the nobility of Akbar, they could know about the local traditions, they could know about the local local cultures, local folk stories, and even local mythical stories. Anyway, Akbar, this third Mughal emperor, he commissioned a simplified text of Ramayana which he dedicated to his mother Hamida Banu Begum. And this work, it has been created around 1594, and this manuscript is highly illustrated with scenes from various narrative. In fact, Ramayana and his or Akbar and his whole like interest with Ramayana, it could be seen in this coin as well. This is your Siya Ram or Ramasiya coin, which has been issued by Akbar. And this coin, like we now find only 3 such coins which have been issued during the time of Akbar, 1 gold and 2 silver coins. We only have 3 such coins, but इसके आपको डमीज मिल जाते हैं बहुत सारे म्यूजियम्स में, म्यूजियम्स इन वाराणसी, इवन इन लखनऊ म्यूजियम, you will find them. Okay, your Akbar, he hired scholar like Abdul Qadir Badauni, who began most reluctantly and fearful of royal displeasure to complete what was for him a haram project, but he did it in 1587. And then later on, an abridged version, it was written by Abdul Rahim Khane in more flexible Persian. He wrote, and this version has a beautiful illustrations as well, and the subjects of which were selected by the emperor himself, ki what kind of illustrations, what kind of painting it could be included in this very illustrated version. Akbar also issued gold coin depicting Ram Sita going to the forest, sample of which are in museums in Lucknow, Varanasi and London, जो मैंने आपको बताया भी. We had only 3 such coins. So yeah, okay. Now if we look at some of the like illustrations here, this is the illustration where like your sage Valmiki, he's taking your Ramayana, your Ram and Lakshman in the jungle. Then we also find this next illustration here, your Hanuman, he's meeting with Mata Sita in Lanka, and this version is very important and very interesting, because this very version which you are seeing here, this was basically this particular copy, it actually belonged to the mother of Akbar, Hamida Banu Begum. Okay, Hamida Banu Begum. So the original complete work is actually not totally with us, but this very illustrated copy, it is the original copy or personal copy of Akbar's mother Hamida Banu Begum. वहीं से आपको ये illustration, ये picture आपको हम दिखा रहे हैं. And many historians, they mention this thing and they say this thing that like Hamida Banu Begum, she might have found some sort of connection, okay, or they guess that she might have loved the Ramayana and found parallels with Mata Sita, as she too followed her husband into exile, leading a very tough life. So yeah, and we all know, besides, like we know that how Mughal women, they were educated, they were curious, and they were very enterprising women. One more thing, one more like interesting story is that when Hamida Banu Begum, she was on her deathbed, so it is this very Ramayana, it is this very personal copy which she demanded to see even on her deathbed. So yeah, this is one wonderful story regarding that. But yes, Ramayana was pretty much popular even among the Mughals as well, and in fact Akbar, he commissioned the translation of Ramayana into your Persian. Then there is another version which is very famous, that is Mewar Ramayana, and Mewar Ramayana, it was commissioned in 1649 by Rana Jagat Singh of Mewar, and it was produced in his court studio at Udaipur. You are seeing here, this folio, it is from Mewar Ramayana only. Even this very folio, it is also from Mewar Ramayana. यहाँ पे आपके like Ram, he is meeting with Sugriv, and Sugriv, he is sending his Vanaras in all the 4 directions. So this is from Mewar Ramayana only. Moving on, so that's it for this very video, in fact. And thank you so much for watching it. I know that I have told you guys like so many facts here, so many different texts. All those texts are important. You need to keep them in your mind. And if you have any doubt or anything, you can always like comment below the video. You can also give your suggestions to me. You can find me on Om's History. You can search me here like on YouTube, like you are already here. So just follow me here and click the bell icon so that whenever the new video goes up, you get the notification. Other than that, if you are actively looking for preparation of this NTA UGC net examination, you can find me on Telegram as well by the same name, Om's History. Just search it, you will find my group. On Instagram as well, I'm there. So you just search Om's History, वहाँ पे भी हम आपको मिल जाएंगे. Okay, so that's it for this very video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it और आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला होगा. Hoping to see you, see the comments of you guys, and yeah, bye bye. Take care. Namaste. See you in the next one.